back, and we are going with a blue team course this time. I've got to say, Matty on the last playthrough is red. It'll come up. So Petro is another high pick. He was he was first overall maybe for blue team, and has based this on Streamsong, which is a course I know, having not been anywhere near it. I do know it quite well, having based a course on it myself. So T's blue, lots of large, deep bunkers, some purely for framing, of course. Medium, elite, medium, so tough CC/elite. Streamsong blue with touches of red or black. So okay, we're looking right. I will kind of paraphrase as it's loading up then. In which case, we don't have any sort of conditions. We'll go blue tees, and we will go. Let's go pin 2. So those of you who don't know, Streamsong is a course that's very unique, built in Florida. And it was on land that needed to be repurposed following phosphate mining. So there's lots of like big dunes and low-profile undulations and things, which is very links-like land and really cool soil for that, which is very different to typical Florida Gulf. And there were two initial courses, red and blue, that intertwined loops. Now Petro's done a second 18 that should also intertwine with this that he hasn't quite published yet. So that's coming, I think, in early January. And then there's the black, which is built on a slightly different site that has these giant greens that are really funky. So we're expecting lots of like low and big profile land movement. Okay, so yeah, straight away, definite Streamsong vibes looking at the plot. The textures definitely work. Waste bunkers, kind of as expected. Quite a few areas with trees, which is more than I remember when looking at Streamsong, but it doesn't need to be like perfect. We have a clubhouse, which is, I mean, I don't know how blue team feel about this. It's got a bit of a blue-red mashup, which is interesting. He'll claim it's just for the roofs. Don't believe him. But that's cool. That fits the kind of modern clubhouse vibe. The waste bunkers, I don't. This is probably personal preference. There'll be people who like this. I don't really like this like sand texture spamming personally. But I can see why we've got it. I'm probably zooming around the course that he hasn't finished planting it, but I don't remember. I don't know where I'm starting. So we've got clubhouse, loads of kind of green congregation points, a couple of bridges and things. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's going to be much to see zooming around the plot other than there's a lot of golf to be played, and with a Petro course, the golf tends to be really flipping good. So, curvy bridges, excellent. There'll be people who'll be very happy about that. We've got some low water, which we love. Yeah, let's just leap back in. Okay, so first hole, now kind of a little nod to blue in that you start on this massive 70-foot dune for Streamsong blue. We're a little less high up on this one, but big green, lots of width and kind of angles to play with. Giant dune up there. Couple of ways we can get at it, and it's quite a long green, so we want to think a long hole, so we want to think about where the ball's landing and rolling out to, and what sort of slopes we want to hit in over and not. So we want to be coming at this one from as far left as possible, I'd say. Love the way those two bunkers just work really nicely straight out of the rest of the waste bunker and natural terrain. Really hard to hold that left-hand side. A little bit of camber making us think. I think green slopes are low profile. If you look at Streamsong blue and black, the greens are really wild. But there's enough for us to think about. It's nice to see. Oh, we've missed right. It's nice to see big greens again after Hackamore. And now we have a shot that's all fairway and yet still poses a little challenge. A little pitching wedge bump and run might be the fun way to go. I was expecting that to slow down a bit more. Did not see that moving left, but I think it was probably just a bad putt. Strong opening bogey. Okay, second. Again, green at grade is cool. That kind of fits what we would expect from a course like this. No, not at all. I did really enjoy them, but it is nice to have a different challenge. Okay, so this one we're trying to hug as close to this little bunker as possible. Try and clear it if we can. Hopefully that does it. There's a lot of open space, like really playable. Could see this going on CC. Like it definitely has more of a challenge around the greens than you'd want for CC probably, but like with the width, can play it from anywhere. You definitely don't want to be coming in from this angle. The angle's done really nicely. That's all right. Yeah, totally agree. Ah, here we go. So this is a nod to 7 on blue, I think, which is the iconic stream song Par 3. Done really well. I mean, I've only just remembered that this is all done in step as well, which is why you get the funky natural texture, which I think why we've got some of the heavy rough spamming that we do. I will say I think the planting is good. I don't. It's not really grabbing me just yet. Like I think the golf is brilliant. Planting, I think we can merge the grass in a little bit. It's partly the texture spamming. Like it's totally, yeah. I don't know. There's something about it I can't quite put my finger on. All right, we want to land. Love this par 3 and the way the slopes work. Really cool. Like the way it's integrated all off this little mound here is brilliant. I want to go pretty much at it, and hopefully the wind feeds it just right. I know what we wanted. And then the slope should bring it back. A lot of fun. Really cool pin positions. Where are our other pins? Because it would be very easy to have this just be a placeholder of like this hole looks good and not have it play that well. I think I've probably got the most fun pin for this one actually. At F special. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like to see the open space broken up a little bit more over here. But these little trees on the right are brilliant. Little bunker that plays really big due to sculpting around it. Sculpting's great. Just totally nailed it. Don't want to go this way. Getting over a little termite mound at the front. Towards a green that will run away. There's no real good way of getting close, so we have to go left. I know it's not in play, but like I'd like to see this water a little bit more. Not for the sense of it being a hazard. I think visually like, that would bring a bit more clout to the hole. Although I guess with the low profile nature of it, you can't do that much with it. There's maybe a question we just couldn't. Should be able to sneak past this. open vibe to this hole is great. Yeah, there are just a couple of areas where it feels like back here, and I know meter will have been a concern, particularly with planting two courses, but just feel a bit empty, whereas each of Stream Song I've looked at, like there's a lot going on. Really cool bunkering, love these three short. Those two, that one there as well, and not how it impacts the hole of being close to the green. I think this shows really well how a bunker dragged way away from the green can still affect all the shots coming in off it, because basically it allows you to put that shoulder in and have that feature play all the way back to about here. So works really nicely. A little tough nipple. Something here. That felt like a slow. Maybe sneak onto the green. Yeah. Again, fun hole, like gonna promote a ton of shot shaping and trying to work around. What I think Petro does better than than anyone, I reckon, is like these little features, like those little mounds on greens that play really big. I don't think anyone does those better. Yeah, it's nice to have like two really good publishers pop up over the Christmas break. I mean, yeah, happy with that start. One bogey on the first aside. Love this green. And like we've looked at examples of this before, and you'll have seen if you've been following a lot of the playthroughs. Quirky green shapes like this have to have a reason. This little mound, like you could put green over it, but equally it's big enough that it makes sense not to. Completely fine with it. Especially when you look at it from this side, you can see why there wouldn't be green over it. Love the green banked into the dune and with this in front of it. Like awesome little dell style green. I think is really cool. And possibly drivable. I don't think we want to for that pin. I don't know, I could see this being drivable. Give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? Low isn't ideal. Well, good for Wayne. I'm pleased for him. That's okay. We'll just leave a little flop shot down the green, which should therefore leave an uphill putt. Yeah, I definitely think the course is better when we are in those treed areas, so I can understand why you put more in. That's a real virtual golf limitation, isn't it? Back to the clubhouse on 6 is awesome. Hiya, Dylan. Again, really cool, like with those little bunkers banked in, the angle of the green provides all the challenge you want. And that little swale is like an interesting little feature as well on the green. Various green, like the little slopes. Like this could easily be seen as just a green with a tier on it, but actually the way that little swale interacts with this little runoff, tiny kicker slope at the back and the big kicker slope off the left, plus the angle. There's a lot going on here. Another really good par 3. Drag the putt. Gotta say, the sculpting in the background area, that waterside looks really flipping good. Oh, another long par 4. And again, like gentler slopes on the green, but with enough interest. Little spine there where you can either be bumped back onto the green or rolled over is really cool. Just think the green angles and orientations here are really good. There's 5 of them. Enjoy them. So again, the more we're taking on the water, kind of the better our angle in. That's the best one, Axel. Tough par 4 doesn't, even though it's not playing that long, off a left to right slope, right to left slope even, playing against a green that wants us to come in from the left is tough. Hit fast as well. Hi Wayne, thank you for the raid. We're probably playing a course that looks very familiar to you. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, we're at the hole where lighting is very much not our friend. I'm going to look over here a little bit and round. I think I would have done all I could to block out this part of the image here. Whether that be moving the tee slightly right, moving your waypoint a little bit, extending that planting out a little bit more. Heck, Sun Carter. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, little mound in the green. This is one of the best greens yet. Loads of internal contouring, but brought in from outside is great. What do we have then? So slightly to the right of the mound. Don't mind coming in from this side too much. Bit more of a narrows here. Probably a better angle here. Okay, ooh, partial driver this way, I think. He says hitting a very slow down the opposite side. It's fine. We'll work with it. That's the good thing. Like, this course, really wide fairways means no matter how bad we hit it, we've got a shot. Like, it'd be good for tournament play for that reason. Because always, like, one good shot is really all you need. Yeah, another good short 4. This is fun. Like, playing over the corner of the dune is good. I feel like a course like this, you've really got to integrate the dunes that you do have. So it's nice to see this one used in an interesting way. Giant green, which very streamsong blackish. If not, blue and red have some big ones. More blue than red, I think. Yeah, great tee shot. Everything runs gently this way. Means we're coming slightly more over these bunkers, but ton of space in which to play. Not a good tee shot, but it's all fine. Ah, I mean that's a good name to drop in. He's just cling on a little. That's done okay. And there's all sorts of space to land this ball short. Like, there's definitely areas where you'll get easier putts and you'll learn a lot by just playing it multiple times. Like that one I should have accepted just being a bit short and having an easier putt than kind of closer, but with a bit of a sidewinder. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Yeah, we overthought that. Also, hi Dan. 5 under the front line is not bad. Very happy with that. Drive ball 4. I feel like there's a drive ball 4 sort of like this at Stream Song. Like, as in nowhere close, but there's one that I think you've drawn from that I vaguely recall. Maybe on blue, like front 9? I could be wrong. I've been red. One of the front 9s. No, it's blue. Either way, really like that you can, I think, bounce it into the slope and kick it on right from there. Fun shot. Yeah, see, even that one little tree really breaks up the visual. Yeah, and that works really nice. Turn. Oh, birdie's good. This one's cool. Big, kind of, well, I say very big. It feels huge compared to the rest of this course. Little dead tree is a nice touch. Huh. I think I want to be short. I don't mind not getting there with this. Could have and probably should have been even shorter than that. But that's alright. Fine. Yeah. A good variety of green sites. We've had at grade, we've had raised up, we've had banked into a dune, we've had in little hollows. I think the greens have definitely been the highlight for me so far. No, I don't think it would have done. It's actually not that many bridges. Because this one is like, so that is, I want to say 2 pieces of the same bridge. So you just place one and then turn it 4 or 5 times and place and reset. Wouldn't have taken that long. I really like the creek as a diagonal cross hazard, and the bunkering coming out of it is really cool. This is a favourite tee shot. Really like this, and like the bunkering to make the green site interesting is cool. Okay, so we want to be further down this way, which is good. I've got a bit more space to work with this side. Right in that annoying pitching wedge 9-iron gap. Yeah, we've definitely got some kind of more... Didn't realise that was going to hit. Like, could really spot on the background where we didn't have as much planting as I'd say we probably wouldn't like. I wouldn't normally go into camera mode and spot the edges, but because we saw all of this on the flyover, I'd want that filled out, even just with like high vis grasses or something. Still, par's fine. Love the way you've integrated the next little bridge with the water area. That's really cool. Works well. Yeah, short par 3 is great. This is the tricky part when you have low elevation, because I think from here where we can see all of this layering, this looks great. From this view, it looks a little bit too cluttered, so I'd probably remove some of these bits, or just dip them down a little more. I think you've got some awesome planting from like the designer view here. It looks incredible. from here it looks a little bit more messy. In a way that we probably cull some of it. Awesome green side on makes so much sense because we haven't checked that before, and it really encourages correct club selection. Go right a little. Gentle green slopes that will kind of feed it. Just a touch that way is good. I am really enjoying the gradual environment changes. I think they're working really well. So into the more marshland sort of area, then the area with more trees and woods and what have you. Ah, the long par 5. So as with Matty's one, all on the approach shot and really setting ourselves up to not go anywhere near that wild green contouring. And I hope to God you put a pin back here. I'm sure you would have done. But that one will be a lot of fun. With the fairway area you've given us, a lot of it down there, so we don't want to smash it down there blindly. This green site's great. Like, kind of epitomises what I would think of with the stream song. Like, playing along this sort of shoreline's very much like red 7 sort of idea, even if we're not playing as close to it. I think that gives us a tiny angle just around that bunker. Probably can make it actually with the wind. There we go. A fun approach shot, and the 2 bunkers short are really good, like little guarding that landing area rather than where the ball's ultimately going to run into. And if you take driver off the deck, you could do, but at your own risk, really. There is always a lot going on. Definitely. Yeah, really fun par 4. Par 5. Straight followed up by a long par 4. Love it. Makes a lot of sense. More punch bowly, for sure. This one definitely has a lot of black to it. What about our angles? Kind of want to avoid that slope, so we want to be coming more from the left. Of course, that's where the bunkers are. Good design. Yeah, it's a really... I mean, there's not much not to like. It's a really good course. And, like, I think this will really capture the it's just fun to play as well. Should make it over. Ah, oh, thought I'd just given it enough. Okay, 3 to go. And then actually I'm going to be finished with this way quicker than I had anticipated. Because the plan was to go straight into our... let's just... Sam, thank you, but just for the purposes of this. I had planned to go straight into the World Cup groups draw, but we're going to need to take a little break and then come back at 9. We might be able to wrangle Matt. You tell me, Pithy, it's your thing. Love this, and just the land gently working both sides, working off this kind of big spine all the way down. Land movement feels super natural. I haven't really given the sculpting enough credit. The sculpting's so good for like, the low profile nature of it. Okay, well that's good news. Or maybe we just do a quick I'll load up the Be Right Back and then we'll go from there. And the texture colours are standard Petro, I think. He may have changed one. But they are good. They fit totally. Something there. Zach, you cannot say something is the best course of the contest if you haven't played it. That's not how this works. still, we'll chip up and we'll go from there. Really good par 4, like, the elevated green works really nicely off both sides of the spine. Huh. Okay, so we've got tees over here. Fairway surrounds are just giant. But I like that you've hidden them with those bunkers, and like it makes sense. It looks a bit. The only thing, the only thing I'm really noticing here is it's very hard to tell where the green starts and the fairway ends. But that is kind of a stream song thing. Love a good little ground game par 3 and great view back to the clubhouse. Yeah, it's awesome. Perfect. Well, we'll do that then. That I think is going to land too far, so I think it is slightly de-lofted 7-iron. I did not want to fast. Yeah, green complex is awesome. But we've gotten very lucky because you've given us a helper slope. That is far more luck than judgment, although it is there. That's what it's there for. And then we get to 18, which is obviously a par 5. Kind of bottleish. Smaller green. Love where it's banked in. Like, it feels very natural there again. Like, all the green complexes have felt very unforced. Again, have been a real strength. It does. It does a little. We go here. We're hitting over that bunker a little bit more. We want to take the bunkers on and just go. Just down here is good. Might be asking a little much with the wind. Wind is probably knocking a few yards off it, but that should just hit to the left of the bunker. I can't play that much better. There we go. Hell of a course. Really enjoyed that, and as ever with the Petro course, it's just a lot of fun to play. Now, what you find, like, what is trickier with those low-profile courses is like keeping all of the holes interesting. I think my favourite was definitely the first. Was it the first par 3? Yeah, the third, which I think is kind of your signature hole. But there's a ton of stunners. I thought the par 3s as a set were awesome. Yeah, the only thing I'd have changed would have been that little bit of planting on 13, but they're really, really good. Just lots of width, but didn't necessarily mean that it played that easy. I think could ramp up the challenge a little bit from the tee, but that would substantially change the vision. Yeah, I don't have a ton more to add. I think the one thing if we're giving you like, because I know Petro and a couple of other guys really want every little bit of feedback they can possibly get. The one thing I would probably try to work on a little bit more is planting. Like, I think it's good and it does everything you need to and everything's really well framed. It's just like all of us, we're striving to reach that like golf wolf Reeb level of like just a Scottish of like ridiculously good planting, and it's not quite there yet. But the golf's a hell of a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream, then start it back up with a be right back. Pithy, Matt and I are gonna start chatting and check that we've got everything working out, and then we'll be right back. So do hang around, we'll do some World Cup stuff shortly, but really good publishers. Cheers guys, see you soon.